What's up, YouTube land? Ziino Gaming, back with episode number 7 of my F1 2020 My Team series. And here today we have episode number 7 for the Spanish Grand Prix. As you can see here on the performance chart, we've got a few upgrades and bits that have come to the car. So the performance of the car is actually looking quite good for this upcoming race around Spain. So that, however, even though we are ahead of those teams and below some of these teams, it is all a very small margin. So at the end of the day, the driver will make the difference into whether we can get through to the next session or not. I've upped the game difficulty for this episode by 2 clicks to 105, so that should make things a little bit more challenging. Hopefully, though, I should be able to handle that level of difficulty. Anyway, moving on now. Last time out at the Netherlands, we had our best result of the season with a 6th place finish, which was unsuspecting. I didn't expect to finish in 6th place, but we had a good strategy and a good pace in the rain compared to the AI. So 6th place finish, we got really good points, 8 points to take home. And now we move forward. You can see we've got an engine here in development, and hopefully that can get on the car sooner rather than later. It says it is going to be on the car by the 27th of May, so that could be after the Monaco Grand Prix, which is okay, because we don't really need any more engine power for that track. So yeah, hopefully we can have a good weekend here at Spain. It should be a track that our car should do okay at, even though probably the strength right now of the car is the power unit compared to the other two departments. So maybe these two upcoming tracks won't suit the car as much as maybe what tracks after Monaco will, such as Baku, Canada, and the Austrian Grand Prix. So maybe these two tracks won't be the best for our car. But anyway, we have to complete these Grand Prix, and engine's a little bit worn, so we're going to switch that out after practice sessions for a new engine. As now we move here into qualifying at the Spanish Grand Prix, and this is our first run in Q1, and coming across the line here, and not a bad first lap, but we're actually slower than our teammates, so we're not great. So we're going to go again here, and we went again, same set of tyres, unfortunately. Went wide at turn 9 on what was a lap where we were up in the first sector as well, so a little bit disappointing there that we're went off at turn 9, then really pushing hard. I wanted to just see if that curve you could use it at full throttle. Clearly you cannot. But anyway, last run of Q1 here, and you can see we're currently in 19th place, so we need a lap to get us through to Q2. We're slightly improving, a bit of deep though at turn 10, which is not great, avoiding that inside curve. Now we're down in our time, so we're not really improving by the time we need to get through to Q2 here, as I try my best to go into the next session, as we're going to 10 seconds left in the session here, as we're going to come across the last corner now and come across the line. We're down in our time. This is not a great last sector we've had, and we don't improve, so we're still in P19, but we got across the line just before the flag dropped, so we have another lap if we have the fuel to be able to do so. So we come through turn 1 and 2, and now flat out through turn 3, holding it in 6th gear. Wheel issues there, double shifting to 8th unfortunately, but now trying to use all the track. We're up here in the first sector, but now we're down coming through turn 5. Hopefully we can find some time here in the middle sector. A little lock up in the front left, back to 3rd gear on the power as early as I dare. Not using all the road to the outside there. 5th gear here, using all the track I could possible, as flat as you dare through turn 9. Unfortunately this car doesn't seem to be able to go flat through there, unfortunately. A little lift, 100 meter board, back to 2nd gear here. A little lock up on the front left doesn't help, but we don't go as wide as we do last lap. Use a little bit of that inside curve is good, just not a lot of it. Now trying to use all the road on the exit. We hit this apex a little bit better. Now the left to right chicane, see what we can do coming out of this corner. We've got to get a good exit here as we come through the last corner. And now we're up on our time. What can this do as we run out of fuel coming across the finish line? So we didn't have full power to the line, and that's going to be 20th on the grid. I don't know if we improved or not. I actually don't know. But unfortunately, we have been knocked out here in Q1. I didn't put the lap together when I needed to, and it's only going to be 20th here for the Spanish Grand Prix, and we have been out-qualified, I believe, by our teammate. So, very disappointing result here in qualifying for Spain. But, you know, it is what it is. Unfortunately, yes, Hubert does out-qualify us. We're going to take up the second last row of the grid. So, unfortunately, we'll have to make amends for that in the race.
The Spanish Grand Prix has been a permanent fixture on the Formula One calendar for over 30 years now, and for good reason. Do you remember Michael Schumacher's absolute dominance here in that rain-soaked Grand Prix in 1996? That day he took his first ever victory for Ferrari, and we've had many more iconic moments since. It's a sellout crowd of 140,000 here today as we await lights out for the 730-metre sprint down to turn 1 of this 2.9-mile racetrack. Overtaking is challenging through these 16 corners, but there's still a lot of high-speed excitement to be found, including the flat-out turn 3 and the terrifying blind right of turn 9. With me today, of course, is Anthony Davidson. Can we talk about Mercedes? What do you make of their performance so far this season?
Well, the atmosphere within that team seems very positive at the moment. Everyone seems like they're in great spirits and having a lot of fun doing what they do, and that's definitely contributed to the performances we've seen.
Off the back of a fantastic qualifying session, it's time to see how our starting grid looks for today's race. Valtteri Bottas lines up on pole position, and it's Lewis Hamilton alongside. Moving on to the rest of the grid, we have Leclerc, Vettel, Max Verstappen and Albon, Sainz, Ricciardo, Perez and Lando Norris, Ocon, Stroll, Daniel Kvyat and Gasly, Raikkonen, Magnussen, Antonio Giovinazzi and Roman Grosjean, Hubert, the captain, Russell and Nicholas Latifi. It's almost time for those 5 red lights to go out. Then let's see who can prevail today.
After the points finish last race, let's aim to keep the momentum going.
Welcome here, guys, to the Spanish Grand Prix here today. We have a one-stop strategy, quite simple. Medium to hard tyres. There's not really another option. It's just a much quicker strategy than the 2 stops. So that's what we'll be doing here today. So yeah, hopefully that works out for us here today on the grid. That's what most drivers will be doing, unless you qualified inside the top 10 and have to start on the soft tyre, which really around this place, similar to China, is a qualifying tyre and doesn't last too long. So thanks for that, Jeff. Hopefully we can just get a good start, make up a few places on this first lap. So here we go for the Spanish Grand Prix. The Revs arrives here in Barcelona for the Circuit de Catalunya. It's go for the Spanish Grand Prix. Good start. By the looks of it for Hubert. We haven't had the best start off the grid. Grosjean has made a pretty good start. We're going to go into our teammate Slipstream. One of the Williams on our outside, I think that was Latifi. We're going to go down the inside of our teammate. He's gone to the outside there. That is actually Latifi. Oh no, it's George Russell, sorry. And Russell's done the both of us. We've got past our teammate, and here comes the other Williams and Latifi. So the Williams cars have done us off the back row of the grid. We're going to go back around the outside of Latifi. But Hubert in last place, unfortunately. But we get back past Latifi, and we're going to go down the inside of Russell. He was sleeping, it seems like, in the turn 6, so we're down his inside. He leaves us the space, and we have enough grip and pace from the exit to get through. So back into 19th place, so we've made up the one spot on our teammate from the start, and now we're behind the 2 Haas cars as we come into turn 10 for the first time, and they're braking very early. We go to the inside, we get down the inside of both Haas cars, and now we're side by side with Magnussen here, and now we slip through on the inside and take away P17 from Kevin Magnussen, and now we are chasing Kimi Raikkonen for 16th position here. So a bad opening half to this first lap, but we have definitely recovered on the second half of the lap since turn 5, and we could have been second last, but we're now in 17th place and pressuring Raikkonen. But as soon as I turn off that overtake mode, that Ferrari engine Alfa Romeo just pulls away completely. So we now move to lap 7, and Raikkonen and I have just been following Antonio Giovinazzi. I've got the 2 Haas cars behind, and we're just in a DRS train here, and I just can't get past Kimi Evel. As we have yellow flags ahead, I just can't pull with close enough to Kimi Raikkonen. But out of the Grand Prix is Lance Stroll, the Canadian driver. Very disappointing for him and Racing Point. Seems like he's had a few reliability issues this year, and he's out here in Barcelona. So mechanical issues for Lance Stroll, meaning he will not finish this Grand Prix. But we are, just been stuck in a DRS train with the 2 Alphas. Raikkonen doesn't seem like he can get past Giovinazzi. I don't know if it's a team orders thing telling him not to race. I'm not sure, but because Kimi has DRS, I can't pull the gap on him, and we're just kind of stuck here. It's lap 14 now, and really just cannot get close to the back of that Alfa Romeo car. So what's going to happen is that our pit window opens, and I thought about it on previous games. The hard tyres don't always switch on out of the pit lane, so my thought process right now is not to come in for the hard tyres and see if the Alfa Romeo cars come in, and do the opposite. So if one of them comes in, I won't be coming in, and I'll be trying to perfect the overcut on both of these cars. Hopefully they pit one lap after the other. You can see we've got Sebastian Vettel directly behind us here. This is lap 14 of the Grand Prix. He's already pitted, and he just is catching up to the back of me. So it's not ideal for his race either, that he's going to get stuck behind in this train for a few laps. So yeah, we don't really have to waste fuel because we're just not in clean air. I mean, probably have a lot more pace in the car. You can see this is actually a personal best lap despite being behind Raikkonen. So we seem to be really strong in this area of the track as well, and we close right up here in Sector 3. But Raikkonen comes into the pit lane, so it gives us DRS, and we've actually got a bit of a gap to Giovinazzi here, and we're not exactly in his DRS range. So as Sebastian Vettel behind us, it's the fastest lap of the Grand Prix. So he's definitely got pace here. But now we cut to the end of the next lap, and Giovinazzi now pits, and we're going to really try and perfect this overcut on both of these Alfa Romeo cars. So we're going to come in at the end of this lap. We're going to push like hell on this lap. We have Vettel behind us, but he's not going to be an issue because he can't get close enough with us having DRS on this lap, and he doesn't get close enough to us into turn 10 either. So now we've put in a pretty good lap. You can say personal bests, first and second sector. So we're on our best lap of the Grand Prix so far, but we're going to come into the pits instead, put on the hard tyres to go to the end. We've extended our stint, and the safety car has been deployed for Carlos Sainz. He's out of the race. You can see we lose time here slightly because the safety car pulls out in front of us, which is interesting. But this is going to work out a treat because now the rest of the field is being forced to run to a delta time. So we're going to gain a massive advantage. We have literally pitted at the perfect time, and we've come back out in 8th place. We've come back out ahead of both the Alfa Romeo cars, but we've also come out ahead of the 2 Alpha Tauri cars. So we've just made up 4 positions here, and we're well and truly in the points. This is unbelievable bit of luck. Next lap, Sebastian Vettel came in, and he's there. He's right there. Where's the pit lane exit line? It's right there. We're ahead of Vettel. We take that position, so we now move into 7th place. We have Esteban Ocon ahead. Also ahead is Alexander Albon. I don't think we can beat the Red Bull today, but I definitely think we could challenge Ocon. I think our qualifying pace isn't what we actually had in store. I think we definitely had more pace in store, and I just did not put the lap together. So this could be a very good race for us in cold, hard tyres, and I've just didn't have the grip there on the exit of the corner, so a really poor restart here. So now, unfortunately, Sebastian Vettel right behind us in our slipstream. Not much we can do about that here, and we're going to just let him go. I'm not going to bother defending Vettel. He's going to get past us anyway, most likely. So we dropped to 8th place here. Leclerc has an issue with his car, so that could be big. We could be within a chance to beat him today as we now come out of turn 3. Kvyat's got a great run. We're not in overtake mode. We've made contact. He's gone for the gap. We've spun. We've made more contact. We've got to pit in for a new front wing now. We've got a damaged front wing. That has not worked out here on lap 20 on the restart. I'll show you a replay. So first of all, Sebastian Vettel gets the much better restart than I did. I had a horrible restart. Vettel gets past into turn 1. So I don't know. Kvyat just had so much pace through turn 3. I didn't have my tyres up to the temperature, and I wasn't in overtake mode here, and he just had so much grip. He pulled to the inside. I went to defend, and I didn't realise it was kind of like a Rosberg-Hamilton situation, and where I wasn't in the right power mode setting for the pace he had. And here's the onboard. He went to the inside. I defended it, and even though he wasn't alongside me when I made my move, I guess he didn't really have anywhere to go, and he's turned into me kind of. We've made more contact there, which spun me out, and then I actually hit Pierre Gasly, and he broke his front wing as well. So a disaster for myself, and the two AlphaTauri cars both having to come into the pit lane. So, you know, there's not much you can do about it really. What's done is done. We got Kvyat ahead, Gasly behind. First couple laps, I tried to catch up to Kvyat, and he was pulling away from me. Kvyat actually pitted. I decided I'd just stay out to the end of the Grand Prix, and I put my car into lean and didn't use the overtake button at all, and just was conserving the engine. So Gasly, he was about 6-7 seconds behind. He eventually caught up, and because Kvyat had so much pace on his two tyre set, that he had already caught up. So yeah, I kind of just let him through. I really didn't care for holding up these two guys. Big lockup from Kvyat, trying to get outbrake me in the turn 6, but I wasn't really trying to stay ahead of him there. I just wanted to just conserve the engine. I just wanted to finish the race just to get the laps in, but that's about it really. And I'd gone so slow that the two Mercedes come to lap me, and they have absolutely brained everybody else here today on this restart. Look how far ahead they are. They are ahead by absolute postcode, and it's a really close battle between the two Mercedes cars here. Bottas leads Hamilton, and Bottas is only just ahead right now. Hamilton is right within DRS range, about half a second the gap here as we come through turn 10. So this is going to be a big finish, and remember, they've lapped me, so the next lap is the last lap of the Grand Prix here between the two Mercedes cars. So we're going to go now here and show you the two Mercedes cars. Hamilton following Bottas. He's in the DRS. Can he get a good run out of this last corner? As they start the final lap of the Grand Prix, Bottas is a fair way ahead, but Hamilton opens the DRS now in his slipstream, probably using overtake mode. He's gaining all the time on his teammate Valtteri Bottas. Will Bottas defend to the inside? He goes to the middle of the track. Hamilton goes right to the inside. Lock up from Bottas. Hamilton down the inside. Bottas has the inside for turn 2. Hamilton holds it around the outside. Now he has the inside for turn 3. This is great racing between the two Mercedes, and Hamilton edges Bottas out. Bottas looks at it. He now has the inside for turn 4 and is ahead by a car, and he gets the position. And Hamilton takes the lead of the Grand Prix on the last lap of the race. Valtteri Bottas, can he do anything to respond to Lewis Hamilton here today? The 6-time world champion, showing why he's a 6-time world champion. And can Bottas do anything to retaliate? It doesn't look like. Will he have an answer with the DRS on the run to turn 10 as he comes through turn 9? Needs a really good run through here. But Hamilton's pulling the gap already. Ken Bottas is nowhere near close enough to the back of Lewis Hamilton. And now looks like Hamilton is going to show why he's the best driver in the world here today. Bottas just didn't have the answer on the main straight. Bottas may have led all day, but when it mattered most, on the final lap of the Grand Prix, Lewis Hamilton has showed us what he is made of as he comes through the final chicane around the last corner. Lewis Hamilton wins the Spanish Grand Prix by the finest of margins over his teammate Valtteri Bottas. That was the drive of a champion there today. And now, coming round in third place will be Charles Leclerc, and in fourth place will be followed by Max Verstappen. So, Verstappen in fourth, Albon in fifth, and Sebastian Vettel in sixth place himself. So he couldn't challenge Albon here today, with Ocon finishing brilliant seventh for Haas, with the two Alfa Romeos in eighth and ninth place. So Giovinazzi wins driver of the day. So it shows we were in the fight, but unfortunately it didn't work out that way.
Another historic win under their belts. Well done to the team at Mercedes. So Anthony, what made the difference out there today?
Without a doubt, the safety car changed everything today. The key to their success was keeping calm and reacting to the situation quickly. We've seen teams in the past throw away wins because they were too hesitant, but here they were decisive, and that's allowed them to take the advantage.
And I can see the drivers starting to approach the podium for the victory celebrations. A real team victory today. Everybody played their part. Congratulations then to Mercedes, your race winners today. And now let's take a look at the driver's standings. This result narrows the gap between our championship leader and the rest of the standings. Let's focus on the driver of the day. Anthony Davidson, who do you pick?
My driver of the day has to be, no question, Antonio Giovinazzi. Such an assured drive from one of the sport's newer stars, and a performance he can be very, very proud of.
It's time to check out the constructors' standings. Mercedes continue to extend their lead. After an event like that, who knows what the sport has in store for us next time? Be sure to join us again as we continue to bring you the latest excitement in Formula One.
So that was the Spanish Grand Prix today, guys. Unfortunately for us, we've thrown away a few points, I think. I think we definitely would have finished in the points. We're in a really strong position. We're ahead of the two Alpha cars. They scored points today, the both of them. Grosjean rounds out the top 10. We were ahead of him. So, yeah. Really disappointing for it to go like that way. You know... Yeah, not much really more to say. Unfortunately, I went to defend to the inside and probably made my move a little bit too late. I think it's a bit 50-50. Obviously, Kvyat could have avoided it. He definitely could have avoided it if he wasn't an AI car, but, you know, is what it is. I guess the AI, sometimes they don't... I don't know. He just turned into my car. He didn't, like, lift off the throttle or anything like that. So, a little bit annoying. We've lost some points today, but, you know, it is what it is. I think the pace in the race was good today. I think we had a good race. And it was an exciting finish, so take that for what it's worth. Here's the driver, unfortunately, because I didn't think of this at the time, but I couldn't set a quick lap time on those soft tyres anyway. I didn't have the pace, unfortunately, and yeah, didn't finish 12th or above, which bums out a little bit because we could have. So yeah, that's a shame, but we'll have to move on and hopefully just have a better result next time at the Monaco Grand Prix. I've been dreading the Monaco Grand Prix, but you know, we have to do it eventually. It's on the calendar. You got to do all the races, so I'm just hoping for a clean weekend, you know, and that we can score a point at least, or a couple of points. So, you know, yeah, hopefully we just have a good race there, a good qualifying, and you know, qualifying is really what matters. I'm finding it a lot harder this year to overtake on this year's game. And it's going to be no different at Monaco. It's the hardest track of the year to overtake. So, yeah, anyway. I hope you guys all enjoyed the episode here today. I definitely think it was a fun one. Please leave a like on the video if you enjoyed it. Would really appreciate it. Subscribe to the channel if you're new for plenty more F1 2020 content. And until the next video, which will be at the Monaco Grand Prix, guys... Till then, I'll see you next time. Goodbye.